Hello, everybody, and welcome to this amazing panel. My name is Josh Zimmerman. I am the creator coach, the first ever life coach dedicated to creators. And I wanted to welcome all of you to mental health care, self-care for all of us. We have an amazing panel. We have Rebecca Black, we have Alicia Marie, and we also have Enoch True. I want to let you know a few different things before we get started. Number one, if you or someone you know is struggling emotionally, we want you to definitely go to www.halfofus, that is like halfofus.com, for resources and support. You should be able to see some question box to the right of you for you to ask us questions that we'll get to a little bit later. So we all encourage you to do that. And also make sure to head over to the VidCon Now Discord for in the mind, body, wellness part, and we will love to talk to you there. So I am super excited to introduce the first person, and that would be Rebecca Black.
Hi. Thanks so much, Josh. I'm coming to you with my guard dog, who clearly wants to make her presence known. Are you okay? She loves to speak about mental health. So I'm Rebecca Black. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I have made it a huge intention throughout my entire time online as a YouTuber as well, and also through my music, to be as honest about mental health as I can. And really, it's been a journey of my own as we kind of all go through. But I've just found that the more honest that I am with my audience and honest with my journey, the more that people can relate to me and my story, and hopefully learn some things and hear some things that I know that I wish that I would have been able to hear when I was younger. And so that's always kind of my goal. And I'm super happy to be on this panel today. So now I'm going to hand it over to Enoch.
Hi guys, I'm Enoch True. I'm a social media influencer on TikTok. It is pretty short videos. But Rebecca said, it is honestly one of my main goals to make sure that everyone is in the right state of mind, especially what is going on right now, because we're not all going to be with the people that we all care about, like our friends and stuff like that. And especially like VidCon right now, like we would all be in these big, huge groups of people, but right now we're doing it virtually because it's the safest option. But I am honestly so glad to be here and to help talk about mental health and give you guys my perspective on it. And I will like to give it off to Alicia.
Hey guys, my name is Alicia Marie. For those of you who don't know, I've actually been on YouTube for about 12 years now. My channel is just Alicia Marie. I also have a vlog channel called Alicia Marie Vlogs, and a podcast called Pretty Basic with my best friend. And from doing YouTube for so long, I definitely have seen myself struggle with my mental health. And it honestly wasn't even until the past few years. And even COVID itself has made it a whole new wave for me. And I think one of my biggest things that I love telling people about it and stuff is just that there's no shame around it. And I think I'm a pretty open book when it comes to it. I definitely have talked about it a lot more and been more open. And it's been so awesome seeing the response from fans and viewers, and how some people will DM me saying that they've never told anyone that they struggle with mental health. And honestly, mental health is just as important as your physical health. And for some reason, there's a stigma around it. And I feel like now is the time we all need to break that and just be there for each other and make it so common, make it known that it's normal to struggle with mental health. And yeah, it's been really cool seeing support in my own personal life with friends and family, to being able to share what I've been learning and kind of go through that journey with my viewers too. So for sure. Back to you, Josh.
Thanks, Alicia. And that's a great place to start off. And anyone, please feel free to jump in. But how have each of you come to the spot where, as all public figures, you feel confident not only about talking about your own mental health to your friends and family, but to your viewers as well?
It was something for me that I always struggled with on kind of my own terms before I ever talked about it online. And I think for those of us who have been on the internet for the past 10 or so years or even longer, like Alicia has, the internet has changed so much, and the conversations that we're able to have grown so much and only continue to become more vulnerable and open to things like mental health. And so when I first had my experience with the internet, it was with going viral as a teenager, which is the worst, absolute worst time to go viral. It's the worst time to have eyes on you because you have no idea what is going on with yourself and no sense of self at all to bounce anything off of. So it was, for me, just a choice that I made because I was feeling so stifled by the choices that I was making for myself. I felt like I was a completely different person online than I was in real life. And that disconnect only grows and grows with my viewers, with myself in a way. And so it was just a kind of a step to say, why don't I try something different? I don't know if people will care. I don't know if this will do anything for me in the terms of my own personal growth, but let me try. And as soon as I started being honest, and as soon as I started saying words that I was always so afraid to say, like depression and anxiety, and just be more honest, people were immediately accepting of that because I think it helped humanize the conversation, whereas everything online can feel very aspirational and like you're always trying to fit into somebody's goals, when in reality, we're all just people trying to get through every day. And this year has been a huge representation of that.
Yeah, Enoch, what do you think?
I would have to say is ever since I started, even before I started social media, I just like I understand the toll it can take because, like, in high school and middle school, I was always bullied, and that it severely hit me with my mental health. But then when I started social media, it was another way because I was smaller, so like not a lot happened. But when I started to like actually grow, it started to hit a toll. But then in the back of my mind, I need to know that I have a following. I have people that look up to me. I want to show them that this is a safe place. Even sorry. Because I even right till this day, I still do struggle with opening up about stuff, but me knowing that my stories, my experiences can help others with what they're going through makes me feel better about myself.
For me, I don't even know if this is a normal thing, but it just kind of came into my mind. I feel like I actually struggled with imposter syndrome a little bit because in my head, I was so overly concerned what people would say if I even mentioned that I had anxiety, to where they would think, oh, well, you don't struggle with it enough, or you only know it a little bit. You don't have it as bad as I do or other people. So I was always kind of scared to bring it up. Just because I thought people would think I'm lying or over exaggerating, because I've even seen a lot of people online say that every influencer has anxiety or blah, blah, blah. So I was kind of nervous to talk about it. And then I think it honestly just got to the point where it was so bad for me where I just stopped caring what other people think. And I realized for me personally, talking it out has helped me the most. Like my roommates know if I'm talking something out, I just need to get it off my chest. And usually I feel 99% better. And I realized how much that's helped me personally. So then when it comes to sharing with my viewers, it was so much easier to be open about it because one, it helped me personally to talk about it on a podcast, for instance, or even it's helped me so much to where I just wanted them to also feel free to talk about it. And like I said earlier, just kind of break that stigma and realize that there's no shame around any of it. And the more that I've opened up, the more I've just seen so many people even open up too, and it's been really cool. Yeah, it's just been really cool. So I think that's kind of why it was easier to open up about it. And then also I feel like just because of COVID, I think it's been no secret that a lot of people's mental health has been going down from it. You know, when we're used to meeting in person and we're used to socializing, even to strangers. Like the first time I even walked to a coffee shop, I forgot how much that's so nice to do, and not be isolating, and stuff. So yeah, definitely just talking was the main thing for me.
Yeah, I think you guys all hit on something really important. And for everybody watching, one of the really important things that I want everyone to know, if you are a creator or even if you aren't, or a influencer, when you are putting yourself out there, that's an extremely vulnerable thing to do. So when you see that comment that may say something that may cut you down, or that may affect you, what have you done to reassure yourself and know that, oh, I'm this person must be in pain to be talking, to be saying something that is not the nicest? Because everyone can hide behind a screen, right? Everyone can just type something out. But I want everyone watching to know, like, it affects us. And what would you all say to people who think that it doesn't affect, you as a creator and your mental health and wellness?
Well, I would have to say it is that for it not to like affect me, I just know there's a whole bunch of people out there, no matter if it's my friends, if it's my fan base, or if it's my family. I know there are people out there who love me for who I am, for what I do and the energy that I put off. So that just like in the back of my head, like, yes, it does eat at me sometimes, but then like the rest of my head is just like, there are people out there who actually love me, and that will always like overpower the hate that people bring toward me.
Ooh, I feel like I had a few thoughts on that. One being, I tried so hard to make everyone happy, specifically my viewers, to where it got to the point to where I didn't even be true to who I was. So it just came to this point where I realized I can't make everyone happy. And it's so funny because I feel like a lot of the times viewers think you don't see stuff, but I can't speak for everyone, but most of the time I can see most of the comments, you know? And they obviously can get to you. And I used to preach all the time that if you let the positive comments affect you, then you'll also let the negative comments affect you. So even if you're letting all of the praise get to you, like then also the negative ones will get to you. But it's so much easier said than done, because there's days where I'm just not ready to kind of see that stuff if I'm already feeling down about myself or whatever. And I think I've gotten really good at kind of putting little boundaries. So if I am having a down day, then I will not look at comments, or usually I reply to comments for the first hour of videos up. And then after that, I realize that my loyal, dedicated followers have probably already seen the video. So I kind of stop checking comments obsessively like I used to, just to make sure, does everyone like it? Like, what do they think? And then I would just let one negative comment ruin my entire day. And I realized that was just not healthy in any way. So yeah, I think just setting boundaries for yourself is a huge thing. And to let viewers know too, if you're commenting that, like, you're also hurting your own mental health. Like if you're the person writing the negative comment, like most of the time those people just feel that way about themselves, and it's so hard to separate that. But yeah, it definitely can be kind of vulnerable to put yourself out there.
I totally feel what you were saying, Alicia, on getting, and Josh, you also kind of got into this too. It is a hard place to get to all of the time, but trying to think from the mind of somebody who leaves a comment like that, I think is a really relieving aspect of being able to deal with comments, because I try to think of it in my own personal way of, The only time I have something bad to say is usually when I'm feeling bad about it myself. And if I'm trying to cover up or make myself feel better for something I'm insecure about, which I think it's easy to go like, oh, you know, people are just jealous, which is can be true in some ways, or people are just feeling this way. But truly, like having some forgiveness and also having some heart for people who are leaving those comments. And um, one thing that I used to get stuck in all of the time is getting so used to ignoring negative comments where I started ignoring all of the positive ones to the point where I couldn't take any form of a compliment. And I feel like that's something that everybody struggles with. And so there, especially when you have an audience, I found that I was ignoring my audience, and I became so used to not letting anything bother me that it was creating a disservice to myself and to the people who really were trying to connect with me. So honesty and like being honest with myself as to why comments were hurting me and why comments were affecting me, and just accepting the fact that it's okay to let something affect you, because we're all human and nobody is built to kind of be getting loads and loads and loads of constant feedback on everything that we're doing all the time. It can be really beneficial and really helpful into bettering yourself as a person, but sometimes it can just be too much. And so I agree with what Alicia said of learning to take a step away when I need to, and also trying not to just be so focused on those bad comments, and spending a little bit of my energy or majority of my energy into the ones who, even if it's not necessarily a positive comment, if there's somebody trying to connect in some way, focusing there.
Yeah, I think there's something, that's really inspirational about everything that the three of you have just said. And especially right now during COVID, right? That we are all isolated, or should be, and really trying to stop the spread of this horrible, horrible pandemic. And so a question to all of you is, how has COVID affected how you create your content?
Well, honestly, like, I'm not a YouTuber like Rebecca and Alicia. I am a TikToker. So a lot of our content is based on collaborations with other users. So that's really affected it, because, and also being isolated and not being like with my friends and not creating fun content or just hanging out and just stuff like that. So it's honestly been down, but I try to keep my mind off of it, just trying to make funny little videos here and there, just trying to keep up the mood. And yeah.
For me, it was actually interesting. I feel pretty blessed actually, because a lot of my content has always revolved around me and lifestyle and home vlogs and being home and organization and decorating, or just fun, entertaining challenges and stuff, which has always been filmed out of my house, where a lot of YouTubers, their whole channels are based out of being outside and with friends and all of that kind of stuff. So as a whole, my content actually didn't have to change too much. I definitely catered a lot more to what I thought was, wanted and needed. For instance, I uploaded a video of tips on how to work from home, because obviously I've worked from home for a very long time, and a lot of people also are working from home right now. So I definitely tried to just be aware and be sensitive to what was going on. Especially when everything first happened, I didn't know my role or place, because part of me felt like it was honestly stupid to upload a video of what I've bought recently and a haul or something like that, when obviously there's so much more going on. But it was interesting because myself as a YouTuber, I didn't know if I should take more of the entertainment route just to give people something to watch for entertainment and escape from reality, or as a viewer, whenever I did see videos on YouTube of people talking about COVID and the pandemic, honestly, it was already like consuming my life so much. I almost didn't want to watch that stuff as a viewer. So it was kind of interesting. But I didn't want to be not sensitive if I was uploading a haul, for instance. So I just put a lot of disclaimers in the first few months of uploading saying like, hey guys, I totally feel you. Like this whole video is just meant for you to kind of escape right now. I hope it's funny. I hope it makes you laugh or smile. And I got a really good response from that. And I think just, yeah, it was so, I mean, it was rough for a lot of us, but it was definitely hard trying to be happy when myself was going through a lot. But overall, definitely didn't change the content too much.
Something that I've been focusing on so much over the past few months has been music and creating music, and that's become a huge part of what I do. It's become my main focus, and that's also, like Enoch was saying, hugely collaborative. I love being in a room with people creating things, but obviously that hasn't been happening at all. So very quickly, I feel like all of us had this pressure of, okay, with what we're creating, we're supposed to be thriving. We're supposed to be the ones who are like leading everyone through this time. And the struggle with that is that we're also dealing with it, and we're also dealing with the anxiety and the emotions that come with going through a pandemic. So creativity for me has been indefinitely huge waves, but what I found is embracing the kind of differences that we're all going through in this, and the different ways we're having to keep on, and the adjustments we're making, has allowed me to finally teach myself things that I have always wanted to do, have always hoped I'd be able to learn, but kind of never gave myself the opportunity because of the busyness of every day. And what I found is through becoming more, I guess, autonomous and becoming more creating, that has been one of the biggest benefits to my mental health in this time, is because it's given me new things to give myself a little bit more credit, which I feel like while we're all constantly comparing ourselves to everybody else on the internet and what everybody's doing, especially right now as a creator, I feel like there is this constant drive that we're all feeling to be thriving, when in reality sometimes we're just not. That's given me a little bit of like a cushion to fall back on, and I think embracing the fact that we can all give ourselves a break as well has hopefully been able to help all of us, and I know that in itself is a privilege. But hopefully, as much as we all can, we can find a little bit of time to just give ourselves space.
What lifts your spirits when you guys are all feeling down?
My roommates. Definitely the roommates. I feel really blessed. There's 4 of us here, so I have 3 other roommates, and honestly, it's interesting how without even planning, we've all unknowingly like taken turns who's going through a funk, so it feels like each other can really kind of be there for each other.
Alicia, if people didn't have roommates and they lived alone or they lived with their parents, what would you suggest to them in having that connection with others with a safe distance?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, FaceTime, like social distance, walk anywhere, meet up in a parking lot, anything. I think that's the number one thing why this has been so hard, because we're all just craving community, and that's something we took for granted before. And also for my friends who are living alone, I definitely have tried to make it a huge effort to text them every single day, just check up on them, even when even when I just did the other day, like making just such an effort, because obviously I'm aware that not everyone has roommates and stuff, but yeah, definitely FaceTime, whatever you got to do.
That's probably when we'd see a jump cut in one of your videos, right?
Yeah.
But Enoch or Rebecca, what do you think?
Honestly, I would say it would be my friends and family. Like, I am blessed enough to actually live in a 7-person home. So like, it's never boring. And I am also blessed to have so many amazing friends, so I can actually like Alicia said, FaceTime, play games. Also, another thing is like I do my makeup and just try to get my mind off of what is happening.
I recently have started living alone during this time, and I used to live alone a few years ago, and I'd found myself getting really lonely, and I was like, well, I could fix this by having a roommate, and so I did that for a couple years, which was wonderful, and it did have its pros and its cons, but I think. For me, what has lifted my spirits is one, finally just giving myself the space to do those things that I've always wanted to do. But even when I don't have the opportunity to do that, getting whatever is in my head out of my head is one of the most helpful things that I've been able to do, whether it's like getting it down in my journal, which is a disaster. I mean, I've found like having a place where I can get out all of the happy things, all of the bad things, all of the in-between normal things, just thoughts that I'm having out, helps kind of clear the space. I also, this might sound really crazy, but it honestly is super helpful for people who are finding themselves alone a lot of the time. Like, even if it's just speaking out what is going on, like having a conversation with nobody else around is really helpful to just become more comfortable and familiar with what's all going on. Because I think we're easily overwhelmed right now. We're easily affected by everything happening in the news, especially here in the States. There's just so much happening all of the time. It's been helpful. And then of course, connecting with friends over FaceTime or social distancing, doing all of those kinds of things is great too. But obviously in trying to keep everyone safe. Getting more comfortable with like myself and what I think about things has been a huge benefit of this year.
You know, one of the things that is phenomenal for that you just said, Rebecca, is, and you said that it may be crazy, but it's actually not, is that when we are thinking something, it's in our head, right? But as soon as we say it out loud, it becomes reality. And so that tool that you're using, this is part of what I do in coaching, is that when you say it out loud, it becomes reality and it becomes fact. And so that stress and anxiety and fear sort of goes down. And so that's an awesome tool that you're using that everybody should use and try. But you also said something about everything that's going on here in the States and around the world. And, you know, with so many important things going on right now, whether it is Black Lives Matter, the election in the United States, the market contracting, brand deals slowing down or picking up, people getting sick, sometimes passing away. What have you all done to make sure that you're contributing to the conversation in a positive light? And how are you protecting yourself from all of this horrible news that's constantly coming at us?
I've had to work to find a balance, definitely, in kind of like going back to what Alicia was saying earlier about how she'll let her content be like an escape from what is going on. We all need that. And I've appreciated my little escapes that I have found, whether it be through in a really good book or a movie or talking to my friend about nothing for an hour. But as far as contributing and trying to be positive, I think there's another balance to find in supplying resources, speaking on things that I am learning about and trying to educate and keep my followers informed is one thing, but also allowing space for the voices that need to be heard and the voices that need to be amplified. I think as influencers and anybody who has an audience, it can become very easy to kind of use your platform to speak what you think on things, which is really important. And it's what we're doing right now. And it's something that we have the space to hold to do so. But finding the actual time and space to allow those who are usually not heard and to allow those voices that are undermined to speak on your platform and give them your space, give them your platform, step aside for a moment, I think has been a huge focus for me. And just making sure that I'm not only speaking on it on my platforms, but doing the work offline as well and taking the time to actually get not only educated, but really involved in the resources that I am sharing with my audience, because not only do I have a responsibility to be posting and presenting resources that actually have credibility and substance to them, but I want to make sure that I'm doing the work for myself and being not only just kind of giving other people a space to be active, but being active myself, having a lot of difficult conversations with my family and my friends, ones that we would normally kind of rest on being able to agree to disagree on, or ones that we would say like, that's just a lot for right now. It's hard because nobody wants to be constantly kind of in turmoil, right? But like you said, so many people are going through some really real life tragedy at the moment, and we all have a responsibility to be a part in fixing that, I think, at least.
Yeah, agreeing with literally all of that. I think another thing is I've just tried so hard to be genuine about the whole situation, and I think a lot of influencers, at least that I've seen, feel the need to post a black square for Black Lives Matter because it's trendy, or they'll look like they don't support, like it's not, I don't know, it's just more of a trend or a hashtag that's viral for a second. And I think being genuine and honest about whatever you're posting, and like Becca said, like, making sure links are credible and making sure that you're not just sharing a link, but you're also signing that petition that you're sharing and telling other people to sign. And also being open if you don't know things, and that if you are needing to be educated on things. And I think that's something that I hope more people do, and instead of being scared that they're going to look like they don't know what they're talking about, to be open of, oh my gosh, I had no idea jokes that were said in the past are not okay, like I'm so sorry for that. And I think showing that you're genuinely researching and that you're genuinely aware that trends now came from the Black community back in the day, and that just things like that, and that you're trying to genuinely just be sensitive to it all and be open to it and open to change and open to looking into yourself and seeing where you need to change. I think, having platforms, by doing that, it shows others that it's okay to do that also. And yeah, I think there is such a responsibility that before I definitely used to think more like, oh, I didn't sign up to be a role model, or like, I'm just here to make some videos. But, getting older, realizing that no, if I have this platform, it's important for me to talk about things that are a little controversial to some people, or to talk about things that I personally believe in. Because literally, what is the whole point of having these followers? The views are empty unless you're actually doing something meaningful. And yeah, it's been a really eye-opening experience just this past few months. And I think it was definitely needed, because even for myself, I knew I was non-racist, but I didn't know I was anti-racist. Like that's one of those quotes really stuck out to me. And I was like, I want to be anti-racist. I want people to realize that I stand for something, and I'm contributing to it, but not just because it's trendy. So I think it's great to take time to reflect and research, and then just put it into action, both online, but also in your personal life, like Becca said.
It's great self-care, right? Mm-hmm. That's why we're all here. Enoch, what about you?
Honestly, what Rebecca said and what Alicia said, I totally agree with to 100%. Still me, like I'm still learning, still trying to educate myself on everything that is happening, still trying to learn new things. And one thing is, like, what I would do is I would try and help and promote and the creators that are actually, that know what they're talking about, that know what they're trying to say, that are trying to actually change what our country is. And yeah, like, sorry. But yeah, I just try to promote the creators that actually know what they're talking about.
That's a great point. And there's for anyone who wants to know more, right? You can head over to that Discord, the VidCon Discord, and look for the Mind Body Wellness section. And you can ask questions in there. And sometimes we'll be in there answering questions, but also, being hungry to learn and is also part of that mental health and self-care. And during COVID, to really strengthen yourself. We're going to start taking some questions from the audience, and there's some that are coming in. But if you do have a question, please don't feel shy about putting it in there, and it will get over to me. So one of the questions that came in is, what are some good ways to boost your self-esteem if you're struggling, if you're starting to struggle?
One thing that I think, first of all, self-esteem is something that I would love to meet someone who doesn't struggle with it.
Right.
Especially more and more in the space that we're in, the more and more that we're posting about ourselves online and contributing to what we're all contributing to. I mean, we're all digesting it, but we're all contributing. One thing that has helped me as like a base and a reminder for myself when I'm really going through it is, one, remembering that, okay, I can't be alone in this. Like, I just have to imagine that, like, the one person I idolize the most, Michelle Obama, like, as one example, like, she's recently started speaking more about her own personal life, and hearing her talk about those things, I'm like, okay, everyone is going through this. And even if I can't remember that 99% of the time for just one moment, I'm gonna try to believe that. And that kind of exercise for me of like taking one moment to just believe something and really take something that I can believe and digest that has been helpful, even if I catch myself looking in the mirror and starting to like pick apart every little thing for myself, whether it's, I don't know, my hair or it can be something as small and weird that you're the only person that notices. Catching myself and for just 1 second trying to find one thing that I actually can tell myself I believe I like, even if it's like, I really liked the way that you spoke in that phone call this morning, or I really liked what you did for yourself by treating yourself, even if it's not a physical feature. That helps boost my self-esteem. And over time, those kind of daily little, they're more than affirmations, I think, because they're things that I actually try to believe about myself. That grows into a bigger thing over time, and it helps become something to kind of bounce off of when you're having harder moments.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's so many times where, there's times where I look in the mirror and I'm like, you know what, girl, like, you got this, like, don't let that come and get to you. But then also even the other day, I just text my friend group chat. I was like, guys, I need a little hyping up. Like, can you like be there, whatever? And of course, instantly it's like all these texts like, oh my gosh, like, you're so beautiful, you got this, whatever the situation was. And it's just so cool. Like, it's interesting how, again, when you verbalize things and when you actually put it out there, you realize how much less power it has over you. So when you're sitting and only thinking all these thoughts of how horrible you are or low confidence or that no one likes you, it's crazy having someone kind of make a joke out of it and be like, oh my God, are you kidding? Like the other day, like, and just hyping you up and stuff. And I think, again, focusing on those qualities of yourself that aren't necessarily physical, characteristics of yourself that you love, whether that's you being a loyal friend, whether that's you, whatever the case is. I think that's something too that getting older, I've also realized I wish I could tell my high school self to not focus so much on the physical and really just focus on character building for sure.
I would definitely have to agree with Alicia. Like, anytime I'm feeling some type of way, I will literally hop on a phone call, hop on a FaceTime group call with all my besties, and they would always hype me up no matter what. They're amazing people. It's because I know that what attracts me to them is that we all go through the same exact thing. And I just know that when I'm feeling that type of downness, that they will always be there to help me and make me feel better.
So as we're getting close to the end, but I'm going to ask a few more questions to you guys that are coming from the audience. And somebody asked, what do you do when you feel like, when it feels like you can't complete the easiest of tasks? Like you don't have the energy to exercise or do dishes or clean your apartment. Any tips?
Actually, I just had a therapy session the other day and we were just discussing this. My therapist said, okay, so what can we do to prevent you getting to that stage? Obviously, it's going to happen every now and then, but let's think about preventing it opposed to having to deal with it when you're in the moment. So she had me make a list of things that bring me joy. And of course, the first thing I wrote was work, and I was like, okay, that's not good. We need to do something different. So for instance, I like put going on a walk, journaling, reading, my dogs, coffee, the littlest random things for me. And she said to really make sure the day before I film, or for instance, to kind of do that, or like make sure you just make time for yourselves beforehand throughout the week, whether it's like every Sunday is your pamper Sunday, or even every morning, just starting off your morning routine a similar way and not just going on your phone right away. And it's funny because it's all cliche things that you hear, but when you actually do it, it has helped me so much to kind of focus more on preventing myself from getting to that point, even though it's still going to happen. And even when I am in that point, if I'm ever feeling depressed or just unmotivated to do anything, being so easy and gentle on myself and just realizing, okay, like that's the day to day. Like I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to be down on myself. And I'm going to realize that there's a freaking world pandemic going on and I need to be a little more gentle on myself. But yeah, I think finding little things that bring you joy has actually, I've noticed, really helped me.
With what Alicia said, I think when it does happen, and I think more of us get to that place where it's just so hard to bring yourselves to do what feel like they should be just the easiest things. But in that moment, like they're not easy, and that's okay to admit. I think even kind of speaking like that, saying like, oh, I should just be able to do this. I know I tell myself all the time, whether it's something that is a big project or as little as getting myself up after sitting in the same place forever because I'm just kind of spiraling into my own thoughts. It happens and it's okay. And that instant mind shift of, okay, I don't have to do this right now, and I at least know where I'm at. If I'm honest with myself that I can't do this, okay, then that's fine. And I'll take this second or this hour, or sometimes it can be the rest of the day, and that's okay. And one, there's always a fresh start the next day. But even if that next day you're still feeling those same things, one thing that I've tried to do more and more over my time, and even Alicia brought up therapy, is there is the stigma of I shouldn't feel like I'm in this place where I have to talk to somebody about it. And I feel like there's this kind of scary idea of speaking to somebody who is a professional. And that's why I love what Josh does as well as being a coach for creators, because I think as creators, we have that as well. It is okay to reach out to somebody, and there is no shame. There is nothing wrong in speaking to somebody who can really provide you with tools like Alicia is saying, that'll be unique to you and help you. Even if it's as simple as talking about it to somebody you really trust, whether it's a family member, a friend, anybody. That is something that I love why we have panels like these, is because it creates those conversations more and more, and makes those conversations a little bit more approachable and comfortable, and something that we can all talk about at any point.
Enoch?
I would have to say, during the start of all of it, I would catch myself doing stuff, actually not doing stuff, like doing my laundry, cleaning up my makeup desk, blah, 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 all of that stuff, you know. But then I would try to think to myself, I was like, if I did do my laundry, maybe I could have a small little photo shoot outside. If I clean my makeup desk, maybe I can do a cute little makeup look. Just like giving yourself that and intuitive. I'm not the best at grammar.
You got it.
You're good.
Just that one thing is just like, oh, if I do this, then I could do like something to come out of it, like just something like that.
Amazing. And as we're going to start doing some closing remarks, but something really important that I think you had said it too about therapy. There's nothing wrong with it. None of us are licensed medical professionals on this phone call, but it is important that you're hearing from all of us that it's okay to reach out for help and it's okay to ask for it. So I would also encourage you to, if you need that help, to go to www.halfofus.com. You should see it below on the lower third. But if you're struggling or you know someone that's struggling, please reach out to Half of Us, because they are going to be able to give you the support that you need. And so I want to ask all of you for some closing remarks, and I'm going to throw it to Alicia with the few minutes that we have left. Alicia, any closing remarks?
Yeah, I mean, just going off of that, I definitely think it's just so important to really, not have any shame or stigma around anything. Especially when you think about it, we have so many experts in everything in this world. So why not utilize people who have studied for years and years about mental health? And I recently started medication, and that's been, for me personally, one of the best things I've honestly done. And I was definitely nervous, but it helped so much reaching out to friends who were also on medication, and they were giving me tips and reaching out. And I even had random friends reach out to me after I uploaded a podcast episode about it, because I was saying that I was nervous. And if I never voiced that I was nervous about it, I wouldn't have had random friends messaging me about it and telling me their experience. So it's really cool. I've said it a lot this whole panel, but just really voicing and like asking questions and being open about it has actually just been the best thing for me, because it's helped me in the long run with it all. So yeah, I definitely think that. I think realizing, again, we are going through a huge pandemic, and everyone's dealing with something on top of COVID. Like, there's so much other stuff going on in people's lives, whether it's a breakup or anything. And it's hard right now. And I think just realizing that and being gentle with yourself is the best thing ever. And obviously my DMs are open for anyone to, tell me your story or whatever. I will try to reply. I can't guarantee it, but yeah, like there's so many tools and people rooting for you. So for sure.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I think Enoch.
I would say, like, if you do not have like the professional help that a lot of people do have, just know that you have a lot of people around you that love you and care about you. If it's your friends, your family, or if you're a creator, you have your supporters. Just know you could always be open up to them. Everyone will give you their own experiences to help you get through whatever you're going through, because there's always that one person that is going through the same. So yeah, if you don't have anybody professional to like go to, just know you have them. And also, like Alicia said, my DMs are open if anybody wants to talk, if they need help, if they're going through something, or if they just want to tell me their story.
Thank you. Rebecca. Oh.
Hello. Sorry. Thanks so much for everybody who's been listening, and hopefully this conversation can help any of you in whatever way. And like everybody said, please do not be afraid to speak up, to seek professional help or advice from somebody that you trust. And I think one thing that this year has taught me, and through conversations I've had like this and just through friends and family, we could all be so much kinder to ourselves, and we could all give ourselves so much more forgiveness. And whatever place you're at, even if you feel like you are at one of the hardest times of your life, there is never a moment that is too late to try something new or to find a way to grow and move a little bit forward in your life. So just whatever you're doing, wherever you are at in your life, it is okay, and it's never too late to be there for yourself and to not give up on yourself. So wherever you're at, I hope, you're doing all right, but even if you're not, that's okay too. And so many of us are going through our own challenges and our own things, whether it has anything to do with the pandemic or the racial injustice in this country, just to name a couple of the many things that are going on around the globe. There's a lot. And even without the pandemic, there was a lot already. So just know I'm here for you. And we all are, it seems like, and it's been so encouraging to see more of these conversations happen across the internet. And whether or not you have a huge platform or not, whether or not you've got 1 million followers, 100,000 followers, 100 followers, 1 follower, you have a space to not only share your own story, but potentially help somebody else. So I've never regretted being honest about what I'm going through, and always, know that your story's ongoing, your journey's ongoing, and yeah, hopefully this conversation helped. Thanks everybody so much.
Well, thank you to all of you. I think it is extremely rare for anybody to be able to watch and see 3 amazing, inspirational individuals who have all said, reach out if you need anything. I've been in this business a long time, and that is something that is really unheard of. I want everybody to know, as a coach myself, a certified coach, because you do have to get certified, it is really important to know that you are not alone. I know it may feel like you're alone. I know that it may feel like you are the only one going through this, but as you've heard during this hour, you are not. Reach out, and we are alone together. And so I want to thank each of you so much for being so open and vulnerable, and creating this safe space. I also want to thank VidCon and all the amazing people behind the scenes who work so hard, as well as YouTube, and for putting this on. And just to remind you to head over to the Discord for support, which is the Mind Body Wellness section, as well as, again, halfofus.com. That is so important. And so I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to know that we're here to support you. The stuff we put out there is to help you, but we're also going through it. So let's all lift each other up. And thank you so much for coming to this session. And hopefully it has given you some answers and some inspiration. And we can't wait to see you again soon. Take care, everyone.